Hey! So today's the day that I finally get to watch my favorite manga series become an anime. Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts, Episode 1. I'm very excited to watch this first episode, that I even went a little bit extreme with all the preparations that I did, just to record my reaction to the first episode. And first I'll list the least obvious, possibly, then of course to the most obvious. So the first thing I did was go get a new phone at Best Buy, which is the phone I'm using right now to record this video. It's a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. And then I got myself a brand new TV. The TV that I had previously was a 75-inch on-brand TV, which I've had for about 3 years. But then I realized that personally to me, which might seem a little bit crazy, but this anime series, it honestly means like a lot since I really love the manga series. So to me, it felt like I had to watch this anime series in much better quality than I had the previous animes that I've watched. So I ended up getting myself an 85-inch Samsung Smart TV. And the final thing that I bought at Best Buy were wireless Sony earbuds, which I don't know if you can see, but I'm wearing them right now. I mainly got them because my new phone doesn't have the connection port thing, so of course I had no other choice but to get wireless earbuds. But also, just like I felt with the TV, and also partially my phone, that I wanted it to be higher quality, I figured I might as well get high sound quality earbuds to not only be able to see the anime better, but also hear it better. But the week prior to before I got all these things, I ended up getting contacts, which I wanted to get for a while, but also this anime kind of motivated me to do it sooner because I really disliked the glare that my glasses would get from the ring light, and I figured that I don't want that to happen when I'm watching this anime, and also of course other animes, but more specifically this one. And I was like, I didn't want to have to keep cleaning my glasses, and it just felt a lot more convenient to have contacts. Then after that, I got a facial, which I normally don't do, but I figured I want to try to look a little bit better in my videos, even though probably nobody can really tell, so I got a facial last week. And then today I got my hair straightened and curled. I had my mom help me with my makeup. I had her help me put on these fake nails, which also I do not normally use. I really wanted to go all out for this anime series. Even though I don't have to, nobody's making me. I personally really wanted to look different, since to me this manga series really means a lot. So it really felt important to me to do all these things. Is it crazy? Yes. Honestly, yeah. But I mean, to me it felt worth it, so. I also bought a few shirts and even a dress to go with these reaction videos, which is why I'm wearing an off-shoulder blouse. And probably the last thing that I remember buying or doing for this video specifically was I bought a ring. You can't really see it, it's this. But it's a Beauty and the Beast ring that I saw on Amazon for like 20 bucks. So it may or may not turn my finger green, but I thought it was pretty. And I felt it went with the theme because this is a Beauty and the Beast themed anime. I figured, why not? And then also I bought this little book stand type of thing. I believe it's called an easel. But I went to Michael's and I saw it and I bought it because I really wanted to display the first manga volume here. Just I don't really have any merchandise of this anime series because there really is none, honestly. I have a sticker of Sariphi with His Majesty Anubis and Landabelt that I had custom made for myself on Etsy years ago. But it's currently on my laptop, so I can't really show it, but I'll put a picture up on the screen. So now finally, after all this talking that I've done, I feel like I talked a lot. Now on to the first episode. I really hope this does well because if not, well, it'll be sad, but I'll still keep watching this. So now on to the episode. その国は決して人間を寄せ付けない禁忌の世界。王の眷属とそれらを滑る王がいた。Oh. した父と母が残したその眼差しは心の呪いとなる憎しみが争いを争いが悲しみを因縁のように世界をかき乱すなら小さなこの命生きる意味をあなたが宿したんだ魔界の年夢のさよなげられた願わくは最後Well, this is already huge spoilers. Now I get it. When manga readers... Oh, that was pretty. Really nice color. When manga readers say like, oh, huge spoilers in the opening song. Now I know what they mean. Oh, I don't remember that in the manga. The sacrifice, the night of the ritual. Oh, are those humans take? Oh, that makes sense. If humans were to take her there. Maybe? Well, this already adds a lot. Since we didn't see any of this in the manga. You know, this kind of reminds me of the Minotaur in the Labyrinth, honestly. Okay, this is more manga accurate.
を上げてみせよ。
ちょっと失礼じゃないですか、犬の人。
Mr. Dog.
犬とはまさかこのアヌビスのことか。
粗末にしないでください。
この無礼者。
ピー。
王の御前で勝手に口を開くな、こやつ。
誰に口答えしている。
短気な王様。ダメだよ、そんなんじゃ。いつか誰もいなくなっちゃうよ。王様は怖いのだ。すぐ謝るのだ。あなたたちはキュック、ロックスなのだ。
Flying clubs. I'll keep an eye on you.
私にひれ伏せ。震え上がり、命乞いをしてみせろ。王様
肉球プニプニ。私はここから逃げても帰る場所も待つ家族もいないの。だからここであなたに食べられておしまい。私はサリフィー。あなたは？
We have no name. Huh.
強いて言うならば、この体に流れる王族の証たる血が私の名。
I'm confused too.
次に空の正気が晴れる天慶の夜、その強がりいつまで続くか。貴様はそれまで特別に私のそばに置いてやろう。
So where were the other sacrifices normally kept?
最初はおらぬか。
She looks so happy.
お静まりください、議長殿。一応鎖でつないでありますゆえ、自由では。
へりくつはよい。王は人間をペットにでもなさるおつもりか。まったく、先代といい、王の気まぐれにも困ったものや。
Bad mouthing the previous king? Wow.
あまりおたわむれが過ぎては困る。今に足をすくわれることになりかねぬとな。
Another manga scene.
待って王様、私が勝手に。
己の立場をわきまえろ。部屋へ戻るぞ。
王様。だって退屈だったんだもん。王様の部屋殺風景もないんだから。
私は王だ。不自由はしていない。
つまんないの。
この部屋を出て私の目を離れれば、人間など一瞬で八つ咲きになろう。
His foot.
次の日まで生きていたくばおとなしくしていろ。減らぬ口め。釘の夜を待たずとも、私のほんの気まぐれで、この細首を今ここで引き裂くこともできるのだぞ。これでもまだ貴様は、私を恐れぬのか。
私の名前が古い言葉で、犠牲、生贄って意味を。
Why did they have that book in the first place, though?
お姉ちゃん。
やっぱり次の生贄はこの村から。
心配するな。うちの子は大丈夫だよ。
自分が初めから生贄として育てられていたことよりも、両親だった人たちの冷たく凍った瞳が何より恐ろしかった。だけど王様の目は全然違う。だから怖くないよ。王様、もしかして無理して怒ってたりして？
サリフィ、お前は哀れな娘だ。
ヨアナって？人間の国のことを我々はそう呼ぶのだ。
Did they have a different name for their country?
廃墟？
それ以上は進むな。聞く、ロプス。お前たちはもうよい。下がれ。
If I'm not wrong, I feel like they're facing the opposite direction in the manga.
無法地帯だ。王宮から最も遠いこの都市は過激反乱分子の根城となり、
だから視察に来るの？
無意に血を流そうとする愚か者どもは誰かが止めなければならぬ。最も確かで健康な恐怖という手段で。
もうすぐお戻りになると思います。
You know, for having shackles, she suddenly moves around. I mean, pretty quickly.
この辺りは正気が特に薄い。花など咲くのはこの国ではここくらいだ。
もしかして王様、このために私を連れてきてくれたの？ありがとう。ねえ王様、この花摘んで帰ってもいい？
They'll just die.
すぐに枯れるだけだろうが。どうせ散りゆくものなどめでて何が。
はい、これ王様に。
貴様、王たるこの私を愚弄し。
Yeah, well, it's just the two of you right now.
こうやって綺麗なもの目の前にしてると少しは楽な気持ちにならない？
その時お前はいよいよ来る。
The same night she found out she was sacrificed, there was also thunder.
稲光のたびにギャーギャーと騒がれてはかなわん。これで少しは音や光を遮断できるだろう。現金なやつだ。さっきまで震え上がっていたくせに。
王様があったかいからもう怖くない。ねえ王様。王様も私の前では何にも無理しなくってもいいんだよ。
She says that and falls asleep.
私にはもうすぐ最後の夜がやってくるから。
The flowers last longer than I thought they would.
今夜は天気、ようやく釘の夜だ。
生贄ってこんな綺麗な服着せてもらえるんだね、最小さん。なんか花嫁みたい。ケイちゃん、ルクちゃん、似合う？サリ似合う。
話を聞けと言っておろうが。
どうして？王族のしきたりとか？
先代まではそうではなかったのだが、王のお考えは我々の預かり知るところではない。
王様？王様じゃない。
人間に迎合したひよった王などに国は守れぬ。
Just because he kept her for a few days?
我が有益に使ってやろう。腰抜けの王に追従する国賊めが。
腰抜けなんかじゃない。王様は少しでも無駄な血が流れないように自分を殺してこの国の人を守ろうとしている。王様は立派な王様なんだから。王様でしょ？怪我を。
触れるな。私は王ではない。
王様だよ。私にはわかる。
私は王などではない。魔族でありながら半分人間の血を持って生まれ、どちらにもなれぬ半端者。月の光が差す天景の夜に現れるこのもう一つの姿を暗闇で隠しながらじっと夜明けを待つだけの小胆者。いくら虚勢を張ったところで小娘一人欺くことすらできぬ。こんなに弱く情けない王がいるものか。
弱くなんかないよ。最小さんに聞いたよ。いつも釘は王様と生贄の二人きり。王様が生贄を食べちゃうところは誰も見てないって。夜が明けると生贄の姿はなく、辺りは人間の血で染まってる。みんなはそれで釘が行われたのがわかるんだって。こんなこと
Wouldn't do that.
本当に弱い人にはできないよ。王様は強い。誰よりも。そんな王様の生贄になれて私は嬉しい。
サリフィ。
私は逃がしてもらっても帰るところはない。あの冷たい瞳のあるところには戻れない。だから最後は王様に食べられたいな。強くて優しい人の糧になりたい。最後に に私を見つめてくれたのが
サリ
温かい瞳でよかった。
サリフィ、
ありがとう王様。
これでお前は私のものだ。
私は今よりこのサリフィーを妃に迎える。意義のある者は心して前へ出よ。
ほら、やっぱり怒られちゃった。
何、文句は言わせん。この私がな。
Anubis.
王様、私ずっと名前を考えてたんだけど、どうかな。レオンハート。私の国の古い言葉で勇敢な心っていう意味なの。
レオンハー
Aww.
ト、悪くないな。
I'm sad that the bickering part between them didn't happen. Oh, this is also a manga chapter picture. I know that scene. Manga chapter picture. I see a ring. But I don't remember His Majesty ever wearing a ring. Well, I can't understand any of this. Oh, like, I have soft paws. It's actually very cute. Well, that was short. So I finally got to watch the first episode. And it was certainly an experience. Like, I feel like I didn't react as much as I probably thought I would. But also, this is actually the main reason as to why I don't necessarily like reading the manga series before watching the anime. Because although I really did enjoy this episode, well, one, I already knew what was going to happen. I knew when it was going to end. It didn't necessarily surprise me when it was going to end. It's the end of the first chapter. But also, I didn't feel like I needed to pay that much attention because I knew it was going to happen. Because I felt, not that I wasn't interested, just that in certain parts, I was like, okay, I know what's going to happen. And I was like a little bit distracted. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. I don't mean to critique anything really because I couldn't draw any of this even if I tried. I feel like some of the animation, I liked it. It's good. Just that I feel some of it is a little bit less than I thought it would be. I love the colors, although I don't know if that's first the anime or my TV. Yeah, either or. I liked how the characters were animated. I really enjoyed the voices. And I honestly didn't hear Lord Ain's whenever His Majesty spoke. I heard His Majesty's voice. I didn't hear any of the characters besides His Majesty, if that makes any sense. Like, some characters, when I hear a certain voice actor, and I know that they voiced previous characters, I just hear the previous character. I don't hear like, oh, this is a new character, I hear it in this character's voice. But in this one, I honestly did feel that I heard His Majesty's voice. I didn't hear any other previous character's voice. And I don't really know how anybody else feels about the voice actor choices, but I personally really like them. And I'm gonna mention this in other videos probably, but I like how, for one, Sariphi's voice isn't as high-pitched as most usual female voices are in the anime. Like, her voice feels a little bit more normal to me. It's not super high-pitched. It's not deep, but it's not super high-pitched. It feels more on the normal side of voicing. His Majesty's voice is really good. I enjoy it. I liked hearing him speak a lot. Anubis' voice sounds a lot more smoother than I guess I thought it would. Although, personally, whenever I would read the manga series, I would just hear what I would think they would sound like in English. So probably, if this anime series gets an English dub, which I will be watching as well, then I'll be able to compare it more. But his voice, well, for one, sounds young. And two, it sounds good. Sai and Klops also sound really good. All the voices sound really good in this anime. Now back to how it looked. This is really just like a personal opinion. But I liked how it looked, although I felt that if the eyes were just animated differently. I liked the colors. They were really nice. Though I was kind of hoping for a little bit more, kind of like the case study of Vanitas type of thing. Like eye glow like that. Or I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I was expecting like a little bit more animation wise, like, oh, this really looks good. Like this is like really beautiful animation. Like it looks nice. I like the animation. I'm not dissing it, but I was hoping for maybe a little bit more. Though I will say this, I am glad that, at least for the most part that I could tell, there wasn't that much 3D, since I know it's kind of fairly common now of animes that it has 3D in it. Overlord has it. Beastars, the whole series was made in 3D. So I'm glad that at the very least this one, from what I could tell, didn't have a whole lot or any 3D at all. Now before I get into anything else, I feel like I should explain the horn situation. So yeah, I bought these horns for this video specifically, and I just saw them randomly on Amazon, just like I saw this ring randomly on Amazon. I saw it and I was like, you know what, I'll just buy it. I don't know if I'll wear them, maybe not, but I feel like it kind of goes with the theme here. Like His Majesty has horns. I feel like it'd be kind of cool if I wore horns, because since now that I have my new earbuds, I'm not gonna be using my old headphones anymore. Which personally I find kind of ironic that for the one anime series that I'm watching that has an Anto character in it, I'm not wearing these headphones that have cat ears. I'm literally just wearing wireless earbuds that you can't even see. So I kind of want to lose the theme of like animal-ish type. So I figured I'd go for horns, you know. If I think they look good on me or they look okay, I'll wear them. If not, I won't. Also, if they're not extremely cheap and they fall off. Well, personally, I like how they look, and I think I look okay with the horns on. So I just kept them on for the most part. And these horns kind of also fit my aesthetic because since my zodiac sign is a Taurus, so the horns also fit for that reason too. I didn't put them on in the beginning, mostly because I forgot about them, but also because I didn't want that to be like the main focus of like, why is this girl wearing horns? I wanted it to be like more like, okay, I'm gonna start reacting to this video and I'll just have the horns on as I react. So I'm gonna keep them on for the most part. And the main thing for me right now is I really hope that we get some Nendoroids. I really want some Nendoroids. And of course some actual official merch. Because another thing that I did, because of this manga series, I actually ended up getting a Twitter. And this isn't me promoting it or anything, I'm just saying I got a Twitter, mainly just to follow the author. And also to follow other anime related things. Well, I got the Twitter account because one, I figured, well, I might as well get Twitter. And two, because when I found out that the manga author had a Twitter, I figured, you know, I'll follow her because I saw that she had like a lot of artwork about this manga series, which of course makes sense because she's the artist. And I kept scrolling through it and I got to a point where I couldn't scroll anymore because I said you have to have an account to see more. So I figured I don't want to miss out on any like cool artwork that she has. So I'm going to create an account and, you know, be able to see the artwork. So now I have a Twitter account for that reason. And I have a lot of pictures of it. So I use them mainly for the manga chapter videos. I use them mainly for that. And also, if I do community posts sometimes, I know for Halloween I did it, for Christmas, I believe I did one for New Year's, I know I did one for Valentine's Day, and I did one for when I got my new phone, and I did one for Wednesday, when this episode came out online. Oh, that's another thing, specifically not necessarily about this episode, but about the anime series in general, that it honestly surprised me that it didn't come out on a Saturday. It's weird. I guess I'm so used to having animes that I usually watch come out only like on Saturdays or Fridays and such, that I'm like, oh, this anime series comes out on a Wednesday. Like, I'm at work on Wednesdays. I'm not home during the week. I'm at work because I live near where I work, which is like 3 hours away from here. So I stay over there for the week, and then on the weekends I come back home. And so I don't really have a chance to record over there. Well, not necessarily here either, although I do try to make a point to do so. But since in both places I live with family, here I live with my parents and my brothers, over there I live with my aunt and uncle. For the most part, usually somebody's home, and I don't get a lot of like alone time, or at the very least super quiet time to be able to watch and react, because I can usually react if my twin brother's here, but I feel very conscious of the fact that there's somebody else here, and I can't really like fully express myself. Although I feel like right now I'm not very expressive. I'm not like, oh my god, this anime series, like I'm not like that. I feel like I would be, but I don't know necessarily. I don't know if maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not in the particular mood to be like, oh my god, this anime series. But right now I feel more calm, more like, okay, I'm watching this series. Like, it's finally here. But I finally got a chance today that everybody went off to go watch like some boxing match thing at my grandma's house. So I was like, you know what, I'll stay behind. I'll watch this anime series. I'll record my reaction to it. And so here I am, finally being able to do that. In the comfort of knowing no one's really gonna like pop up here, go to the room, or make some noise downstairs. It would get me out of the moment of watching the anime series. Now onto like the opening and ending songs. I like both, but I feel that personally for me, I kind of like the ending a little bit better. Like, I love the opening song, but the ending is somehow like, it's different. I really like the voice of the woman who sang the ending song. I like both songs, but I really like the ending song slightly more. Also because I think mainly the fact that the opening song spoiled a whole lot of stuff. Like, did they really have to put so many spoilers in it? Like, I get it, it's just a thing that happens. But I know like back in the day, when they would do opening songs for older animes, it didn't necessarily have scenes from the anime. It had just like made up scenes, like, oh, here's some character smiling, here's a character doing this. Like, it wasn't necessarily scenes from the anime series, it was just the characters doing like whatever. But there's like a lot of spoilers that I saw, like, which of course, right now, spoiler alert, I guess. The fight with Ilya and his Majesty. Did they have to show that? Let's see what else. Oh, Bennu appeared. Did they have to show Bennu? Also, this is my pet peeve from the trailers. Although I'll talk more about that in the video that I've already should have done. I'll try to record it and then probably have it either before or after this video uploads. Did they have to spoil so much? Like, I feel like they could have done so much more with the opening song without spoiling so much of the content. I'm really excited for the merchandise that's gonna come out because of this. Because finally, I'll have some official merchandise to buy. Like, I want plush toys, I want shirts, I want keychains, I want mouse pads. Actually, I can get majority of that on Etsy if sellers start doing stuff like that, or I get them custom made. But still, if I can do anything to support the animation studio that helped produce this, and of course the author herself, then I'll try to do that as best I can. So I'd really like to add a plush toy of His Majesty and Sariphi to my plush toy collection here in the back, which I didn't mean to grow to like, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but I didn't mean to have so many like plush toys in the back. It just happened to happen that way. The one thing that I will say is I do feel a little bit jealous because I saw on the author's Twitter page that I believe when the final volume came out, that if you were the one who bought one of the first copies of it, I believe they either mailed you or you somehow got it with it. You got this cute little keychain. I believe it's both of them on it. And I was like, why do they get those cool things that I don't? Like, I bought all the volumes. I pre-ordered a majority of them months in advance. I bought the first volume, like, I believe a few days before it came out. And I mentioned this in the first manga chapter video, that I heard about this manga series a few weeks before it actually came out, officially translated in English. And so when I read that, I was like, you know what? I want to buy the first volume after I read it online. And I saw that it was going to come out in a few days, and I was like, you know, I'll just buy it. So I bought it, I believe, a few days before the first volume came out. And ever since then, I believe I've actually pre-ordered every single volume since then. And so I was like, why don't we get anything? Or why don't I get anything? Like, I want keychains, I want merchandise. Like, when does Japan get everything? Oh, that's another thing. The fact that this anime series is actually out right now makes me want to go to Comic-Con. Like, I've been wanting to go to Comic-Con for a while. If I have the name right, I don't know if it's called Anime Expo or Comic-Con, you know, one of the two. I believe it's in San Diego. And I believe that when it comes to anime series that come out around this time, there's a chance that there'll be a booth about it at the expo. I want to go for that sole reason. I just want to go to be like, can you sign this? Or not, maybe I'll just buy like a second copy of this. I don't know if like the actual author or anything is there, but I'd be like, can somebody just sign this? Or can I get some actual merchandise, like a tote bag, something? I would like something. I've been also thinking about getting a tattoo. Specifically, I'll put it up on the screen. Specifically, I don't know why, but this one for some reason really like speaks to me in a way, because like it's His Majesty, you know, in flames. And I was thinking of getting it more like around here. But for one thing, though of course you can probably tell by now that I've been obsessed with this series for like the past 5 years, or 6 years. I think this came out in 2018, let's see, 2019, 2020, 21, 22. Yeah, about roughly 5 years. So I've been obsessed with this series for about 5 years, and I feel like I love this thing so much. Why not get a tattoo of it? But also, I feel like that's like a lot of commitment, and what if I'm not into this thing in a few years or whatever? I don't even think I actually ever said it out loud that I specifically want like a manga tattoo or an anime tattoo, but I think it was like randomly that all of a sudden I got this ad that it promoted itself as you can get any kind of tattoo, like it can be custom made. It could be like a manga tattoo or something. And basically, it's a fake tattoo. Well, first, you go and you pick the size that you want. And then you insert the image that you want. I believe they're all in black and white. The image you put in can be in color, but the tattoo you're going to get, I believe it's going to be black and white, because it's of course like a manga image. So once you do that, I don't know how much it costs, but they send it to you. It's like the same with any fake tattoo. You sanitize wherever you're going to put the tattoo, which me would be here. You separate the paper. You put it on your arm, you press it there for a while, and then you take it off. But the difference with this is, I believe they last about 2 weeks. Like, you can wet it or whatever, and it won't come off, like, you know, normal fake tattoos. It'll last 2 weeks, I believe, to give you more of a feel, like, do I really want this tattoo? How will you feel with the tattoo? And so you'll be able to see it for 2 weeks. You'll be able to get used to it, so that if in the end you don't want the tattoo, it'll be gone eventually because it's not permanent. So I'm kind of thinking of doing that just to get a feel for it, and then maybe hopefully find something of color. Because I don't know if I specifically want that, or there's a quote in particular. Actually, there's quite a few quotes that His Majesty says that I really like, but there's one specifically. It's him motivating Sariphi to do something. Like, just, you know, take your time, just don't think about it too much, take your time and just do it, and just, you know, just ease into it. It's not like that. It's ironic because I really like that quote and yet I don't remember it, but I really like that quote, and I don't know if either just to get the quote itself, because actually I have a small arm. I don't know if you can tell, I have a small arm, so it's not like I can do much with it, or I don't know, maybe somewhere else, like maybe like on my back. I don't think my back. Maybe like if they have maybe like a biggish area, it'd probably be like my back, like in between my shoulder blades probably, or at least maybe my shoulder, because I would like to be able to see the tattoo. If I have it on my back, I won't be able to see the tattoo, and I'm like, what's the point of that? Okay, so right before I end this video, I'm gonna mention like 2 more things I believe about this episode, which is the fact that I like that they added things. Actually, it's pretty funny. One of my subscribers, who's like a frequent commenter, she even said this to me actually like a few days ago. I had mentioned how I can't wait to see the first episode, but also like that since I already know what's gonna happen, I don't really expect many surprises. And she's like, oh, you never know, like animes do tend to add things to it. I'm like, yeah, that's true. And it's true. Like just from the first scene itself. In the first manga chapter, they never show how Sariphi gets there. The scene that really opens it up is like you can see the palace and someone's talking. And the next thing we see is Sariphi kneeling on the ground and then being told to lift up her head. So we never saw her being dropped off or anything, which is what they showed in this episode. 2 humans who were covered up, they drop Sariphi off and then they go off running away. And another thing that they added into it is the fact that I believe 2 members from the council, they were talking to Anubis, and I believe they don't really say a whole lot other than the fact that what His Majesty thinking, why is he letting the sacrifice like walk around the palace? I believe that's the extent of what they said. But in this episode, they added a little bit more to it. They made the scene a little bit longer. I guess for one, just to add more to it. And I think, actually, they confirmed what was never specifically confirmed in the manga series. Was the fact that all they mentioned was that whenever the miasma cleared the air, that's when they would be given a sacrifice. And here, they actually stated that it's been 100 years since they did the treaty that made them have peace with each other. This more or less confirms to me that His Majesty is at least, approximately maybe a little bit over 100 years old. Though both him and Anubis and pretty much everybody else, they sound relatively young, especially Anubis, I believe. But more specifically, His Majesty in his human form, he sounds pretty young. And I was kind of worried how the voice of Lord Ainz would sound as both King Leonhardt's and also of Leo, which is Sariphi's nickname for His Majesty when he's in his human form, Leo. But I was pleasantly surprised. I really did like the voice in both forms. I liked his beast voice form, and I liked his human voice form. I never really thought that music could really add things to the anime series. Like, I'm so used to just reading it. Like, I never really thought, like, oh, what music will go here or anything. But I really think it sounds really good, honestly. I liked how it sounded, like, especially in that scene where she was talking to His Majesty in the ritual room. And she was telling him how you're not a weak king. She was telling the would-be assassin, like, he's a great king. Like, that music, how it swelled. His Majesty's eyes going, like, from, like, the normal size to, like, dilating, or I don't know if that's the right word, like that. Those things are things that you can't necessarily like feel in the manga, but you can see in an anime. And also the vibrant colors, it's really vibrant colors. Like I feel like, and of course I'm not trying to be critical, I feel like in some scenes it's drawn very manga-like, which I like, but I feel like it's very not as detailed as maybe most anime that I've seen so far. But in other times I feel like it's very detailed, and I really like that. But of course, like these are things that you can't see in the manga because it's not in color, because everything's pretty much like drawn the same. I also really like the choice of colors that they used. The colors are so vibrant. Like I can't get over how pretty the colors, like they pop so much. Like His Majesty's eye color, Sariphi's eye color is really pretty. And then there's a blue tint in her hair, which I believe has been said before. They do that so it stands out more, right? I believe that's why they have like a blue tint. Although I believe I've seen anime characters with white hair that don't need a blue tint, but it could be a stylistic choice. But besides that, I'm gonna go back to my point as to like why I don't necessarily like reading it before I watch an anime, is because this happened to me already before with the Ancient Magus Bride. I was obsessed with the series. I still am, although it's been about 5 years. And I know the second season is already out, although right now I'm not watching it, although I feel like I should. Although I'm also really into the Tale of Outcast right now, so I don't know, I have a lot of, I guess you could say, fairy anime that I want to watch right now. So this happened specifically in the Ancient Magus Bride, where it was the episode where Chise met Ruth. The episode before she made the pact with him. I remember feeling that I couldn't wait a week to find out what happens next. I believe I ended up buying the manga series like 3 days after, and I believe I ended up getting it before the next episode came out. I read from the beginning to a few chapters past that episode, and then when I finally saw the anime episode, I was like, okay, this is cool, but I know what's gonna happen. I'm not at the edge of my seat when I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? I'm like, oh my god, like this happened. Like I wasn't really shocked or surprised. The shock factor wasn't there anymore because I already knew what to expect. Which was my initial fear with this series. I was like, damn, I know I'm gonna love it. Like, not to jinx it or not to, like, maybe speak ahead. I know if the pacing is good, that I know for a fact I'm gonna like this series. I know I'm gonna buy this series when it comes out on Blu-ray. I know that already. But I know that for the most part, I'm not gonna be super, super invested. I know basically, like what I said in the beginning, I am super invested. I am super involved with this series. But just watching it, I feel at the very least right now, it's not there yet. I feel like, and if you actually made it to this point and you've read the manga series, that when we get to chapter 5, that one, I can't wait for that one because I know for a fact that probably I'm not gonna have the chapter 5 video out in time before the episode comes out about it. That once we get the chapter 5 episode, when that character shows up, I feel like in that one I'm gonna be so involved. I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be like, okay, she's here. Alright, I'm gonna see it happen. Are they gonna add more to it? Is what I really wanted to happen finally gonna happen? Because I feel like I felt underwhelmed with what happened. I feel like the reaction that he had when that specific scene came on, I feel like why didn't he do more? Which probably doesn't make sense to anybody right now. But when we get to the part in the anime from the manga series, you'll get what I'm talking about. Also the fact that I saw that in the ending, if I'm not mistaken, His Majesty had on a ring. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember seeing that at all on him in the manga series. From what I remember, only Sariphi ever had a ring. I remember I always wanted him to get a ring, but he never got one. Specifically, I want him to get a ring that more or less did what Sariphi's ring did, but like, you know, the opposite, of course, where like his ring would have miasma in it, and then it would be able to distribute the miasma to His Majesty, so that even if it would be like the Night of Revelation, he would still be in his beast form. You know, kind of like the opposite effect Sariphi's, where hers did, you know, the opposite. It expelled miasma, whereas His Majesty's, it would apply miasma. Oh, I will add this though. So I saw the 42-second animation of the Beast Princess and the regular king. It's cute. Honestly, I didn't expect much because they come out as little shorts at the end of each manga volume. But I found it really cute, even though I couldn't understand what it said. Although there probably is or there probably will be one with English subtitles. I just couldn't find it on YouTube. But I thought it was really cute. I feel like Sariphi was like less fluffy in her beast form. In her manga character form, she's a lot like puffier, I think, and fluffier. And in this one, she's like more like flat. And His Majesty looks good, you know, without horns. Weird, but good. Reminds me of Tomoe in the manga series Kami-sama Kiss, when he finally turned human in the end and he had actual human ears. Like, that looks weird. We had seen him without ears before because he would hide his ears with his magical powers, but seeing him with human ears, that was weird. I was like, okay. I thought he looked fine before, but seeing him with actual human ears, I was like, alright, this looks weird. But for the most part, I felt His Majesty looked good in both forms. Of course, you know, personally, I really liked his beast form. I liked his half human, half beast form, and I liked his human form. Oh, and one last thing that I did end up buying for this series, for both my earbuds and also because I feel like it kind of matched the series, is the fact that I don't know why, but even though here I can clearly see it's different too, is I was under the impression that His Majesty didn't have brown fur. I thought he had burgundy fur, which is why I'm wearing this burgundy shirt and I'm wearing like garnet eyeshadow, and I ended up buying a case, which I didn't necessarily know was a case for my earbuds. Cause like when I saw it on Amazon, even though they only cost $9, I assumed it was like the charging case that come with the earbuds. So I bought them in burgundy. And then also for my earbuds, I was gonna get them black, but then I saw they had silver, like silver whitish. So me being me, I figured, you know what? Yeah, like I'll get them in silver and then I'll buy this burgundy case so it can match sort of the theme of the show. Cause I thought His Majesty had burgundy colored fur, and then of course Sariphi with her whitish hair. And then it's crazy, I know. But my earbuds would be silver, and they would be protected by a burgundy case, which would kind of match the theme of His Majesty protecting Sariphi. And these earbuds were actually an early birthday gift from my parents. Since I really wanted them now to be able to watch this series, my parents agreed to get them for me about 3 weeks before my actual birthday. And this is also like another strange thing, I guess, is that, so I'm 25 right now. I'm gonna be 26, but I'm 25. And for years, my favorite number has been 25. And I always thought, you know what? I feel like something's gonna happen when I'm 25. Like something like of importance, I guess, like something specific. And turns out, yeah. Shortly after I turned 25, like 2 months later, I got a job. So that was the first thing that happened. And then I got a puppy in January. I believe she's a Maltipoo mix. She's roughly 6 months old right now. And her name is Tonita. So she's another new thing that I got at the age of 25. And then it just so happened that a few weeks before I turned 26, this anime series comes out. So I feel like I was right. A lot of things did happen after I turned 25. So I'm really excited to see how the rest of the series turns out, since it's been confirmed that it's going to be a 24 episode series. Which I'm really happy about because generally all we get is like 12 episode series, and this one is going to get 24 episodes, which I hope does not mean that they're going to cram it all into 24 episodes. What I'm really hoping is that this anime series gets a lot of traction, and of course we get a second season, of course, with another 24 episodes, and a third season with another 24, because this manga series has about, I believe, 86 chapters, around 80 something chapters. So I'm hoping that we at least get 3 seasons, because although I'm not good at math, let's see, 24, 24, 24. I believe that would maybe 3 seasons of 24 episodes, although I have my doubts that maybe that would happen. I don't know. Maybe it might get a movie. Maybe it's gonna get 24 episodes and that's it. I hope not. I hope this gets a lot of traction. I hope we get a lot of merchandise. I really want this to be like a huge success. Though I feel like this is gonna be slept on for various reasons. I feel because for one, I've heard it's a shoujo. It's mainly geared towards teenage girls and young women around that demographic. I know it's already gonna be branded as a furry anime, which sucks because just for that reason alone, a lot of people aren't gonna watch it. The same thing happened with Beastars, although granted the author herself is a furry. But I've seen the anime series, it's good. So I'm hoping that just because of those 2 reasons, it isn't looked over. Because I know there's also a bunch of other anime series that are coming out right now that are also super popular. I know the 3rd season of Dr. Stone's already out. The new Pokemon season's already out. Quite a few other series are already out too. There's actually quite a few that I want to see. I believe I heard that Heavenly Delusion is pretty good. A new series that the author for Kaguya-sama, I heard is also pretty good. And that one's also, I believe, getting a lot of traction. It's like a really good series. It's creepy and really cool as well. There's another series, that one's also pretty good. I don't remember the name, but I heard it's pretty good. Though I do feel that honestly, this is gonna be one of like the slept on anime that really not many people talk about. Or if really they're gonna talk about, they're just gonna say like, this is furry. They have problems because, it's with like underage, which I'm not saying it's not a problem, but I believe that, and I said this in my Tale of Outcast video too, I believe she's roughly 15, 16. I think the author actually said she's 16. And His Majesty, in both forms I believe, but more so his human form, it's more visible. I believe His Majesty is roughly in his early to mid 20s, like around there. And well, of course, it isn't your typical realistic setting type either. It's fantasy. Others have done it before that people just loved. Inuyasha, Noragami, Kami-sama Kiss, The Angel Magus Bride too, although it also did get talked about as well because of the underage issue. Which I'm not saying necessarily aren't valid reasons because yeah, a lot of people don't like certain themes. Like they don't like how this could be perceived as like, like a slavery type of thing. Which essentially she was sent as a sacrifice, she's depicted the shackle around her neck and essentially he's her captor. Although what makes it different is that he gestured for her to leave. He wasn't going to keep her there. But she said, you know what, no, I want to stay. Which is different than like others. Like people are going to say, oh no, this is Stockholm Syndrome. She's being forced to do this. She's only 16. This is furry, this is weird, which I'm not saying aren't valid reasons. I'm just saying that people should at least try to give it a chance if they can. Because I know for a fact that I had reservations watching Beastars. One, because all anybody ever talked about was the fact that it was a furry anime. And I was like, should I watch this? Should I not? Does that make me a furry? Oh, this video probably confirms that. But anyways, the second reason why I didn't necessarily want to watch that anime was the fact that it was different animation style. It was all 3D and I didn't necessarily like it because I wasn't used to it. I was just used to, actual drawings. I wasn't used to seeing these 3D models and I was like, that's weird. But I feel that it does it justice. It does it really good. I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons and I really can't wait for the 3rd season that's going to come out, which I will be doing a reaction video to as well. Maybe I'll buy wolf ears or something. Or I'm actually thinking of deer antlers if I could find those. I like both Legoshi and Louis Senpai, but I'm not really sure why. But I kind of like Louis Senpai more than I do Legoshi sometimes. The point of that being is that I had reservations about Beastars, but yet I gave it a chance. Right after the first episode, I was like, you know what, this series is pretty good. I want to give it a chance. And I really ended up enjoying it. And I would have missed out on enjoying the anime series had I not just decided that, you know what, a lot of people may say these things about this anime series, but I'm going to try to give it a chance and watch it and see if I like it. Give myself a chance to judge for myself. Not try to have other people influence my decisions. Kind of like with these horns, actually. I didn't know if I should wear them or not. My mother was like, you look good with or without the horns, but it's up to you if you like it. But I kind of like how these horns look on me, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to wear the horns. But also, this is not everybody's, thing. I'm not saying it's necessarily my thing either. I'm just saying that it's just a common trope that happens in anime. But what sets this series apart from a lot of others is that for basically the entirety of its run, it's wholesome. Nothing explicit, nothing mature necessarily happens. It's just all wholesomeness and fluff and adorableness. His Majesty being awkward but also being kind. Sariphi also learning that she has feelings for His Majesty. All that, and they go through so much together. It never strays from being wholesome. It gets dark and it gets very political, but it never necessarily strays from being wholesome when it comes to their relationship. And I really hope that I see a little bit more anime only added things to it. Maybe a few scenes here and there, maybe a few further explanations, maybe. I know pacing wise they can't add everything because it would just be too long. But for the most part, I believe they did a really good job for the pacing of this episode, and I hope this continues for the whole series. Because I don't want another disappointment like what I heard from The Promised Neverland that had a super good first season and then the second season was just super rushed. They cut entire arcs, they cut entire characters out, and it was just really bad. I really hope JC Staff does it justice. I really hope everything's good, and well, I guess only time will tell, but I really hope that this anime series does well. But for the most part, yeah, I really like this first episode. It's good. I hope I can record next Saturday and watch the second episode, like more or less in peace, more or less with a lot of time. So I think by now I've said everything that I wanted to say. I feel this video went on for longer than I originally intended it for it to be, but I guess, there's not much else I can do about it. So I'm gonna end this by saying just give this anime a chance. And I can't wait to see what the next episode brings.